The man who plays the Chief of Staff, Ben Cafferty, Kevin Dunn. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Rich.
Very rarely can I turn to an actor or an actress and say, we have done a movie together. We have done a movie together.
We did.
Well,
Draft Day.
Correct, sir.
Yeah.
Draft Day.
Ivan asked me if I would do that film. I said, well, yeah, there's not much of a role there. He said, yeah, but you get to be on the floor during the draft. So I sat with the Browns, and it's like equipment managers and stuff who get that job. Really trusted.
And this was when it was in Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah,
on the floor at Radio City Music Hall.
So I would just be writing out players like Ryan Leaf, and giving them to
to actual Browns individuals.
Yeah, at the desk. I was at the desk.
Can you imagine if they drafted Ryan Leaf one year? Like, how the hell did that happen?
I'd write down Rick Myrer. And that was 2012?
It was a while ago. Yeah.
And I kept going over to the Bears.
Right, yeah, it was 2012 when we shot it. It took a couple years to come out, right?
I went over to the Bears table repeatedly and said, draft Russell Wilson.
No, you did not.
Draft Russell Wilson.
Did you really do that?
I saw him play twice at Wisconsin when he came over from, was it South Carolina?
No, it's North Carolina State. Yeah.
He was just phenomenal.
So they didn't run that up the chain of command? Is that what you're saying, Kevin?
They didn't listen.
Well done. Who did they draft instead?
Browns took Trent Richardson in 2012.
Instead of Ryan Leaf.
Who did the Bears take in 2012?
Who did the Bears take in 2012 instead of Russell Wilson?
Bears took Shea McClellan. Defensive end, Boise State.
Ooh, what a brain trust.
If they'd only listened to you, sir.
They take Alshon Jeffrey in the second round.
They did. Well, Wilson went in the third round.
He did.
Yeah.
I know. And now there's Kyler Murray that can go first overall, and a lot of people think he's worthy of that despite being 5'10" and 1/8 because of Russell Wilson's height and dimensions and how well that he's performed.
And Wilson had and Murray has incredible presence on the field. He knows where everybody is.
Yeah.
You can see some quarterbacks when they come in and they run wild, and like RG3 got hurt but they know where the players are. I mean, he's just. I don't care if he's 5'5".
Right.
He's going to find a spot to throw the ball in.
Right. And it's pretty cool, by the way, to being on a draft floor. Were you on the floor when it actually was really going on?
It was going on. Yeah. They muted my headphones and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. I shot my scene, Kevin Dunn, with none other than Frank Langella. Okay. Never thought I would ever shoot a scene with Frank Langella in my entire life, let alone meet him. Okay. And this is Tony Award winning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Academy Award nominated actor.
Yeah. Frank, I saw Frank before we started shooting. He's that actor Lee. He said, I was right here back when I won my Tony.
At Radio City, right?
Yeah, when they did the Tonys.
Yeah, not many people can say that sort of thing. Yeah. So we shot my scene on the second day of the draft, Friday afternoon after Thursday night, the whole first round. And they asked me to wear the same thing because they shot me on set Thursday night.
Right.
They wanted me to wear the same thing for the shoot on Friday before the draft. So I've got a lot going on, for the draft. It's a lot. It's a big assignment.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So I figured I had like 3 lines.
He had more than I did. I just sat at the desk. I was like a pig in poo. I was just like, I don't care if I say anything.
So I had 3 lines, and I just figured, I'd take a look at him before doing the scene. Give me 10 minutes before. I had no idea Frank Langella was going to come on the set, just see where this whole thing was before we're shooting. And he turns to me, and nice to meet you. And I said, nice to meet you, sir. He goes, would you like to run through our lines?
Negative.
Well, but how do I say no to Frank Langella? And I immediately start looking at I started cursing. Oh my God, how do I get this stuff together? So we ran through our lines, and
Did you do some warm-ups with him and stuff?
Some sort of like voice warm-ups. But by the way, I love the movie. I thought the movie turned out really good too, right?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
And just seeing Costner do his thing in a sports movie at the end.
He's so good at that. I mean, he should do all sports films because he's just kind of a sports guy.
Yeah, he's Kevin Costner.
That and Cowboys.
Yeah, that and Cowboys, for sure. Kevin Dunn here on The Rich Eisen Show. So you're from Chicago.
Yes.
You had categorize yourself clearly as a Bears fan that you're going up to try and posit that they draft Russell Wilson, 3rd round.
Yeah.
What do you think of the current state of the Chicago Bears? What do you think of the way things are working after making the playoffs last year?
Well, I hope they can hang on to some of their. I hope they can hang on to Callahan and Amos. And,
right.
He was a 5th-round pick. He's a great cornerback, and they're hard to find. But I think they're in a catbird seat. The North Division is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
How does Green Bay do it? I mean, it's like half of their team goes down, and they're still going to always be the Green Bay Packers.
They got Aaron Rodgers up there too.
Yeah. But I think Nagy's a good coach. I think they need a running back to slam up the middle and give Trubisky a little.
Mm-hmm.
They got a good Cohen.
He's really good too, right?
Yeah. They need to figure out how to use him a little more.
They actually, they made the playoffs this year and got the kicker hitting 2 pieces of the upright.
2 games were lost because of that. They would have been playing LA at home,
right,
for the NFC Championship. I
know, and I don't know. Again, you're on promotional tour. You got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you're aware that the Bears did sign a new kicker this week.
Named Blewett. I was texting with my brother and my buddy last night, and it was just like drafts. Bears draft 1st round quarterback. Otto Throw-Better.
Well, actually, hold on. This is great. Should we bring up our team? I don't know if we've got. We actually did this endeavor on our show yesterday. Like, what could possibly be the worst names that you can come up with, hypothetically, for the position that they play?
Oh, this went on all night.
Okay, so we came up with the offensive lineman is Hold It. You don't want that. You don't want the receiver named Drop It.
Yeah.
You don't need the defensive lineman named Trip It. The punter's named Shanks.
Yeah.
Can't have Shanks.
Kent Catchwell.
Yes.
For a wide receiver.
Right. Oh, here it is right here. The defensive back, Lit Up. You don't want to see Lit Up in your lineup, right? The quarterback, Pickett. That's simple. And then somebody told me that when Blewett was on Pittsburgh, the quarterback's name was, in fact, Pickett.
No way.
Yes. This is what somebody was tweeting at me. And then our favorite one was Coach Choke It.
For a goalie, we had one was M.T. Crease.
Oh yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett
was the quarterback.
Right.
For Pitt.
Pickett was the quarterback, and Blewett was the. How'd they beat Clemson that year?
I don't know.
Pickett and Blewett together.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, me being a Knick fan, the owner's name is Dolan because he's the worst owner in sports.
Oh man,
can't stand him. I know
he's got just problems. I don't know. He's like got a black cloud. He walks into the garden and it's just like this. What's he going to do?
Well, I mean, look, Kevin Dunn here, Veep, returning to HBO at the end of the month here on the Rich Eisen Show. You know what Charles Oakley means to a team. He was on the Bulls before he came to the Knicks. So when Dolan essentially watched him get dragged out of Madison Square Garden a couple of years ago and let him rot in jail overnight, I'm a diehard Knick fan.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
But being a diehard Knick fan, I do remember all those years Michael Jordan would rip my heart out and show it to me pumping. I mean, what was it like being on the wonderful end of that fan relationship, being with a Jordan
I grew
fan?
Up, the Bulls were so bad. They used to play in the amphitheater, which was literally still, it was the stockyards. And it was the floor was laid out, and there were just huge black curtains, and it smelled like cow crap because it was, and that's where they played. A pass would go out of bounds, it would just disappear into the darkness.
The famed stockyards from the Sinatra Chicago song that he mentions in the lyrics?
The Chicago Amphitheater. Just a horrible place. And, I mean, just years and years of just really terrible basketball. Erwin Mueller and just some bad players.
Right.
It was just like, being in a dream.
And then Jordan comes along.
Yeah. He just came in and, we were talking earlier about
LeBron passing by,
who's just a phenomenal and one of the best ever. But one thing that Michael Jordan did that whatever players came along with the Bulls, he made them better players. I mean, he just demanded,
right,
and he would give them the ball to win a game.
I remember.
He would pass the ball off. You know, he would. You know, it just he made them play so much better than they were.
Well,
and
that plays into having my heart ripped out and shown to be pumping in Madison Square Garden. I will never forget when Jordan scored 55 and combined with Bill Wennington to score 57 on that night because he passed off to Wennington to win the game.
Yeah.
To beat the Knicks, and the night that he had, I mean, I will never forget that, or the nights that he combined with Luke Longley for 57 points and he had 55, you know? I mean, that's
pretty stunning.
So let's talk Veep before you go gently into that good Los Angeles day. I'm going to miss it already just as a fan. I have missed it with Julia Louis-Dreyfus beating cancer, which is wonderful to see. What was it like on the set for those final 7 shows for you guys?
We had so much fun. Everything reminded you that it was going to be this final season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just that kind of, okay, this is the last time we're going to be in this room or in, you know.
It's that special.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, we were in Baltimore for 4 years. I was there for 3 years. I came in the second season. Mm. So we really were together all the time.
And that's where it was shot, in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because we rehearsed a lot with Armando and his gang of Brit writers. We always rehearsed. So we never went home. So we were just together all the time. Mm-hmm. And when we came back to LA, it was great because we didn't have to leave, and you know, we were able to sleep in our beds and be with our families. But we had established that kind of real ensemble because, you know, we were cooking, you know, hobo stews together and everything else is, you know, in the cast back in Baltimore.
Who's the easiest to crack up?
Tony Hale goes up. You know, but usually so much of the humor between he and Julia is just this physical humor that they just pull out of thin air, mm-hmm. and it almost looks like a ballet. So they did each other in a lot, mm-hmm. you know.
And how much of this is ad-libbed? Any of it?
It's written.
Okay.
And rewritten, and, you know.
Curse
and
words and all, because it's very inventive curse words. Like Deadwood's the only other show in the history of maybe television or HBO that had more inventive curse words.
The scripts are vile, you know. Don't leave them around for your grandkids to see. Because be like, Daddy, you know, Granddaddy said, you know,
right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
No, they have really fertile minds. Dave Mandel and his band of writers. But we do experiment. We do, you know, throw in alts. We rehearsed a lot in the early years, so we would read a script and then we would throw the script down and actually go through the show without a script, mm-hmm. and then they would take notes and rewrite it. And this last year was just a lot of rewrites. I mean, rewrites the day before, the night before, the morning before, and you know, it was here, new words, new pages. And she carried the brunt of that. I don't know how she did it.
Well, she's brilliant. She's one of the greatest comic actors of all time. Agreed.
Yep.
That's why she's Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Hey, Kevin, really appreciate it. And you're terrific as well. I can't wait to see this season. Come back anytime.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.
It returns, Veep, to HBO March 31st, last Sunday of this month, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 glorious episodes. Can't wait to see it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.